So last night I'm on YouTube scrolling when I come across this YouTube channel by the name of the Rebel Society. Now it's not a large YouTube channel, but it has some really great content. And I came in contact with this video called Why Black People Don't Work Together. So I wanted to listen to a few bars of it, so I pressed play.
Sparked up a conversation about a lot of different things. But one of the main things is Black people collaborating. I personally feel like, especially in our area of Hampton Road 757, Virginia, but also just in life itself, Black people never come together and say like, yo, I know we do the same thing, but why don't we just come together? Not necessarily to work together or, build a company together, but like, yo, you do this thing, I do this thing. Let's see how we can work on this project together, or how can we collab on resources. So just want to have a quick conversation about that and just kind of talk about what, we think about that.
So I think for me, I can never tell if people don't want to do it because there's no money in it, right? Like nobody ever looks at like, it's not bigger picture. Like, what can you do for me right now?
Right.
Sometimes brainstorming doesn't necessarily turn into dollars.
True.
I think by coming together, I think there should be more conferences. I think the conferences that we have now are people just kind of like showing themselves. But I wish more Black folks did do things where they like weren't afraid to spend money with each other, or it didn't have to be some like, for lack of a better term, like ballerific type thing where it has to be like glitz and glamour. Like it's just a high quality product that they should be able to spend money with each other. And people of like skills should come together.
Do you feel like it's more so like a crabs in a barrel thing? Because sometimes I feel like, a lot of Black people don't want to see other Black people rise above them. So why am I going to work with you to kind of make you maybe leapfrog over me?
No, I don't think it's a crabs in a barrel thing. I used to think about that in some of the other cities I lived in. I think for a lot of times, nobody shares their game plan to success. I think a lot of times what happens is, it is I got mine, you figure out how to get yours, which isn't a bad mentality. But it's more or less, it's hurtful because people need mentors.
So after hearing that, even though these guys are from Virginia and I'm from California, it all makes sense. It's hard to get Black people to even come together in the African American community. And that's most of us who, despite where we live, we go to the same churches, we eat the same foods, we sing the same songs, we dance very similar. We are pretty much the same people. That's why it's so easy for my brother from Oakland to go move to Houston or Atlanta, because it's the same thing. But despite us having the same lineage and same history, we have a hard time working together within the African American community. Let's make things a little bit more complicated. Let's create a conundrum. Let's put together other communities, Haitians, Nigerians, Jamaicans, Trinidadians in the same mix in the same country, and you get more anarchy. You get the us versus them. And every now and then you might date a lady from, Liberian community or Ghanaian community. But for the most part, they're over there and we are over here. And when we're doing something great, we tell them that, hey, this is our excellence. And when they do something great, they tell us that, this is our excellence. And then we start going back and forth. Well, I went to your country and it looks like this, but we're in your country and you guys don't do that. And then while that's all happening in that particular conundrum and you have some infighting in the group, or you just staying away from each other in the group, you get this, John Leguizamo. Now, we've already talked about John Leguizamo, who is a Colombian and an actor. And he's also spearheading the Latino movement. Now he's demanding that the United States establish a national museum of the American Latino. He's calling it his mission to witness prior to his death. I'm there to get the Latino Museum on the mall, and that's a big thing I want to do before I die, my mission. We don't want the museum to be miles out here because it makes us feel second class, like it don't matter. We need to be on the National Mall because we're that important. We've contributed 500 years. He then talks about this, about Hispanics being in the entertainment industry. It's pathetic. I mean, white people are only 59% of the population, but should they inhabit what? How much real estate should they have? At least, let's say 60%. We're at 20% of the population and less than 2%, less than 2 to 3% of the leading roles, less than 1% of the editors and journalists. So look at what these people are doing. He's looking for a power for the Latino group. He's not speaking about Colombians. He's talking about groups that Colombians typically would not even be okay with in America, which could be not including Dominicans. It could be not including Venezuelans. It could be Brazilians. It could be Mexicans, but they're leaving that to the back burner. See, what they'd rather do is they'd rather be successful as a group. And if they need to fight it out later, they will do that. But see, as blacks, we don't even understand what's happening here. The guys are already seeing that they built this country. This is what the Latinos are saying. That's what John Leguizamo is saying now. We built this country. We are $2.8 trillion in the spending power. Yet as blacks in America, we can't even talk to one another. Like literally, it's so scary. My mom's been messaging me lately about all of the murders happening. It's getting worse despite all of the technology. And while we're going through those issues, these other groups are leveraging for power. They want themselves at the National Mall. They want real estate power. And I'm not talking about physical real estate. No, they want real estate in the entertainment industry. They want more leading roles. They want more editors. They want more journalists. They want more of the pie for themselves. Meanwhile, we're talking about, hey, you're from over there. You're not in this community. We're not in that community, X, Y, and Z. And all of them are trying to pass us up. Like, that's what they're doing. So they're not distinguishing themselves between the Colombians and the Puerto Ricans and the Dominicans. Nope. They're all coming from the Latino diaspora, and they're trying to put the numbers up to leverage the government as one block, even though they don't all feel the same. But this is what we want. We have contributed X, Y, and Z. While and the blacks, we're over here talking about, well, this person is an immigrant and that person is this and that. And I get the beef that we may have, but look at who has the numbers now. We don't got the numbers anymore. We're too disjointed to have the numbers. We got the numbers worldwide for sure, because we got Africa and we got all these other places in our backyard. But we got to fight with each other to work together. I know that sounds crazy, but we need to do that. As soon as we can start roasting each other and having problems with each other, we can start working together. We need to come to the table now. First of all, with black Americans that wants to work with each other. And then we need to start adding value to the diaspora. And like the brothers were saying, we need to have an intention of working together, not to be styling on everybody and showing off and all that stuff. These people are not about showing off. They're getting to it. They want the people. And think about it, they're looking to get power, guys. They're looking to get power and to give it to their kids. That's what they're doing. Well, our kids is not going to have that. They're looking to have businesses and pass to their kids when our kids may not have that. That's the power play, brothers. And what they're trying to do is set up their whole people, because each generation they're getting better. I remember seeing Hispanic men in California, Mexican men in California. They were not doing that well. Now they have passed black men literally in one generation. Now the whole group is passing. And as blacks around the world, we got the numbers. We got the money. That's the one thing I want to tell you. We have the money already. We have the mind already. We got the infrastructure already. We have everything that we need to be a dominant group. But if we do not unite and come together, let's just say even in the African American community, if we don't do it, at least we have no chance. We have no chance. It is over for our group. All right. We're already the second largest block. And like Dr. Claude Anderson said, if you didn't get anything when you were number one, what makes you think at number two? And if you drop, God forbid, to 3 or 4, what do you get? We have to work with each other now. We don't have a choice. We got to get past the issues. Even if you're just going to be a brother or sister in the black community, in African American community, where you feel comfortable, not even being on Pan-Africanism and that, that's fine. but you got to start to work with people now. You have to. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Jump. Appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.